Okay. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to day 2 of judging. We're really excited to see all of your hackathon projects today. My name is Josh. I'm part of the ETHGlobal team, and I'll be your MC for this morning or afternoon or evening, depending where you are. Sorry, let's back up there. This has been our biggest online hackathon ever. So we've had 700 hackers stake and participate. We had more than 1,000 applications. We have hackers from 65 countries and 19 time zones. It's been absolutely massive, and so we're having multiple rooms all in parallel all weekend to get through the judging. We've got 175 projects at the hackathon, and we can't wait to see all of them. The judging session yesterday was awesome, and I expect today to be great as well. So, quick note on the format. How this is going to work is each team has up to 4 minutes for their video demo, and then 4 minutes for questions. So the way this will work is when you begin your demo, we will start a timer for 8 minutes. And then when you have 3 minutes left and 2 minutes left, there will be messages in the chat notifying you of that. And so you can have up to 4 minutes of discussion and Q&A with the judges. We will do a break partway through. It's kind of up to the judges, so we can chat about that in the chat about an appropriate time to take a quick break. Quick note on the criteria for judging. So the judge is going to evaluate your projects on 5 factors: technicality, originality, practicality, UI and UX, and then wow factor. They've just had a kind of a training session with Karthik, who runs Judging ETHGlobal, and have a kind of a metric to use to evaluate your projects on this basis. As one really important note, ETHGlobal events are not meant to be a competition. Of course, there are bounties and prizes, but really we want this to be an experience to learn. Not everyone is necessarily trying to launch a company with their hack. Sometimes it's just about experimentation, about learning, about trying to get feedback and meet people and collaborate. So no matter what your purpose is, what your goal is for the hackathon, the judges here today are here to help you further that purpose. And sorry, these slides are lagging a bit. Doing the hard work today, we have 3 amazing judges. We have Tamlyn from Vega Protocol, Mariano, who's just some guy who talks about DeFi a lot, and Christina from Unicef Innovate. Welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for volunteering your Sunday to help these teams, and I'm really looking forward to getting started. All right, so let's jump into the first demo. Let's get Joseph onto the call, and then Joseph, I will let you share your screen and share your demo.
Cool, give me 1 second here. All right, are we good?
Yeah, all good.
Hi, I'm Joe Gonzalez, the founder of Huddln, and I'm presenting the Huddln service for the ETHOnline hackathon. So what is Huddln? Huddln is comprised of 2 components, the client app and the actual service API. The client focuses on short-form media with a built-in wallet to connect to the service. The service is a set of blockchain contracts that focus on providing social features and is open for all dApps to utilize and provides a set of standardized features. The Huddln service will provide many different features, including services for NFT, DeFi, and content licensing. The hack for this hackathon was to implement 1 feature, the staked content feature. And here are the steps of the feature. The creator creates content and provides it to the contract. Then there's a round for stakers to purchase a stake in that content, and they're charged a fee that goes to the creator. Next, the tipping round begins, and all the tips go to the tipping pool. And at any time, a staker can close their stake and withdraw from the tipping pool according to their proportion of stake compared to other stakers, a percentage of ownership. To accomplish this hack, I used Biconomy for gasless transactions and the Matic chain because of the speed of confirmations and small gas fees. Here is a simple demo that is ran on the client side. The user logs into our platform and starts creating a video. It's a little bit of video editing. Here you can see the monetization section for the options. That will contact the contract and set up our object. Next, the user is publishing the to the contract and to our platform. And now it is complete, and that is step 1. Step 2, another user logs in and sees the content that they want to stake on. They see the content here on the screen. They hit the little gold button, which brings up the menu that you see now, and the different presets for the amount that they want to stake. This user is going to stake 0.1 Matic, and it's already done. Next, another user is also going to stake some Matic as well. They see the content, they select the button, bring up the menus. But this user is going to stake 0.25 Matic. So they have a larger stake of the tipping pool. The next step, someone is going to add a tip to the tipping pool on this content. They're going to add 10 Matic. So now there is 10 Matic in the tipping pool that will be split amongst the stakers. Next, one of the stakers wants to close their stake and claim their percentage of the tips in the tipping pool. As you can see, there's a graph there of how much they're allotted. A little bug there, but the transaction went through. In the last step, the creator can also withdraw their earnings. I didn't get a chance to implement that on the client side, but it is available on the contract, and the contract is fully done and ready on the Matic Mumbai network. And that's my hack for the ETHOnline hackathon, and here's some contact information. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Joseph. Over to the judges for questions and comments.
Cool.
Hi, let me begin. That is pretty impressive. You did this as a solo team?
Yeah, this is just myself, but you should know that the client itself is something that I've been working on for the past year and a half, and it does have an MVP. This is an LLC already.
Oh, okay. So the client did look like extremely polished. So this would be, I would almost refer it to as like farming likes for content, right? It's how do you envision the economy to work?
So the really cool thing is that I'm trying to implement this as a service for many dApps to be able to use and plug into, which means this whole staking feature is actually just one feature where users can choose to enable this for their content to basically act like, I kind of describe it to people like, you have a company, you're buying stock in a company, and that stock gives you some ownership of that company / content. So that's like just one feature of it. I had it on one of the other slides, is that I want to also implement a feature to utilize like the new DeFi protocols, but with content instead, where people can stake NFTs and pass those around and basically add another feature to the service. So this would just be one feature provided to the dApps that want to utilize the service.
And who would be paying gas in this situation?
So for the create post, we're using Economy right now. Mm-hmm. So it basically lowers the borders, removes a bunch of the friction for new users, so they can jump right in and start monetizing their content without any Matic at all. So a fresh new wallet can come in, start receiving tips, and then from there, once they receive tips, then obviously their function calls would use gas. But yeah, you totally do not need any gas to jump right in and start using it.
Awesome. And as you're thinking about this from the example that you presented of the content creator, in this case, the video of the dog, what would be the model for the actual content creator to generate income if others are staking on it?
So what happened? Well, actually, I could. It might be better if I move the slide around a little bit. So one of the steps is when they stake content, the person staking the content actually has to pay a fee to the creator. So right now the fee is just an arbitrary number, but it may be a dynamic number later in the future based on demand. But right now it's just like a static. I think I have it set to like 10%. So if they want to stake $20 worth of Matic, 10% of that has to go directly to the owner, and then that is how the owner gets their income, and they can get it in a separate pool, and they can do that payout immediately at any time.
Cool, thanks.
And what's the sort of governance behind like even that choice of the 20%? Does that get to evolve over time, or?
So the 20% is really just an arbitrary number. In the actual production use, what I would actually want to do is base it off of the demand for the content and make it a dynamic number that's constantly changing. And probably also base that some of those variables in that equation based off of the block time. So how long it's been running, how many users have staked over a certain block time, stuff like that.
Great.
I thought this was really impressive, by the way.
Thank you very much. We actually launched an MVP of something very similar to this back in March. And then Ethereum hit with DeFi and basically knocked our MVP down, and it's unusable right now. So that's why this whole hack was a really high precedence for us.
Okay, well, thanks, Joseph. That's all the time we got for Q&A. Thank you for being part of ETHOnline, and great job.
Thank you.
Okay. So next up is Tokenize Music. Ben, I think we have you on the call already, so I'll let you go ahead and play your demo.
All right. Hello, everyone. The title of my hack is Tokenize Music. Just a little bit about me. My name is Benjamin Beatty. I'm a DevOps engineer, and I started getting involved with Ethereum and cryptocurrency a little over 2 months ago. So the goal of my hack was just to get introduced to Ethereum blockchain development, and my idea was to create a program that accepts an MP3 file as input and then converts it into an NFT. Why would you want to do this? I don't know, but it seemed like something I could do, so I went for it. Phase 1, as you might imagine, was just learning. I got my developer environment set up. I chose Python and Brownie because that was what I was most familiar with. And can't do anything with Ethereum unless you know Solidity. So I read up on the documentation and did a bunch of tutorials for that. Phase 2 was all about NFTs. I looked up the specification, followed some tutorials on how to set one up, and found the Open Zeppelin contract, which I used as a base. Managed to create a skeleton project that deployed a basic NFT token, and I interacted with it a little bit on the blockchain and gained a greater understanding of that. And then phase 3, I created this presentation. So I did not get very far. That was all I accomplished these past few weeks. So I don't really have a demo to show, but in lieu of that, I'd like to share some of my takeaways. So the first major thing is I gained a greater understanding of dApps and Ethereum. This was an excellent experience, and I learned a lot. And then more than that, I got exposure to this great community, a lot of the projects going on, and a lot of resources I could use to go further and learn more and gain a greater understanding of what's possible. So thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who helped make this event possible for this amazing opportunity. And thank you all for listening to my presentation.
Oh, this is very interesting. Let me jump right in. You know, as a dev, so what would you say was the part where you know, what was the most difficult? Because you did pretty much everything, right? You started reading about things, reading about how dApps works, how Web3, Open Zeppelin, and then started development. Where did you say was the part where you said, okay, this is as far as I could go in this 3 weeks?
Well, I think that the stopping point for me was trying to understand how I would do the actual idea I had, which was put the MP3 in a token. To me, that was sort of like, okay, now I need to understand how like the entire blockchain would work with that. And to me, that was a little nebulous at that moment. It was like, I don't really know what's going on here. So that's kind of where a big wall was.
And would you say maybe, did you ask any mentors? Did you, when you got to that point, did you say, well, now I'm really stumped? Or do you think with a little bit more time you could have figured it out? Was this, you know, mostly a tech thing or a project idea thing?
I think I could have figured it out with more time. I mean, part of the obstacle for me too was I somewhat overcommitted with trying to do ETHOnline, so I had other things going on that took me away from doing just this, and so that played a role. But I don't think there was ever a point where I was like, this is too much, I can't do it. It was just I needed to read more. I thought the Solidity documentation was really good, and kind of like you said, I mean, there were tons of people like asking questions on the Discord and things like that. So I think I could have gotten answers if I needed them.
So I guess I'll just jump in there, and I guess building on that, given that this was your kind of first experience learning in this area, what was the most exciting thing to you through this process? And what's the one thing that you could have used to kind of accelerate your learning? Just I think for us judges, that also helps us as new folks are coming into the community, how we can best support people with learning resources or mentor, things like that. What would be the one thing you would be looking for?
So the thing I was most excited about was just in crypto in general was decentralized finance. I thought that was super cool, but I didn't understand enough to really want to pursue something like that for this hack. And then the thing that was most helpful for me were just these tutorials I found on the internet for like setting up a development environment and making a basic token and just laying the groundwork for things like that. I thought that was extremely helpful. So I think tutorials are the way to go with that stuff.
Awesome, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, please go ahead.
No, go for it, Mariano, honestly.
I was just going to say, so after this, do you still plan to, you know, do more development on Ethereum? Do you plan to learn more about DeFi, and or is this like, did this pique your interest?
It definitely piques my interest. I do want to pursue further. I don't know what the rate on that is going to look like exactly, but I think for now I just want to learn more and try and become more familiar with it.
Great. Well, welcome to the community.
Thank you.
I was going to ask, just out of curiosity, Ben, if you'd heard or seen anyone else do something similar to what you've been trying to do, because I'm quite interested in the applications in decentralized finance of NFTs. So I think there's a lot you could build on with the knowledge that you gained today. And I was just curious if you've heard of anything in your travels.
The closest thing I saw was Audius, which is this platform for content creators to upload music and basically receive revenue for people who download it. But that wasn't exactly what I was trying to do. I didn't see anything that was in the exact same vein.
Oh, thank you.
Great. Well, thanks, Ben. It's always great to see projects that, even though you didn't finish, even though you were relatively new to this, you still submitted, you still got on the call with the judges. It's really positive to see. So we hope you come back for the next hackathon. And if you ever need learning resources, we are happy to help direct you to stuff.
All right. Thank you all so much.
Thanks, Ben. Okay. Next up, our next team is supplyChainHub. And I will let this team take it away and play your demo.
Okay, so this is supplyChainHub. So this is the main page. You have to connect using MetaMask or for login. The owner who is creating the supply chain will have to enter his details now. The organization name, his name, and his address. He will now have to enter the product details of the product that he wants to create a supply chain for. So here we are creating a supply chain for N95 mask, and we can add the property. He can also modify the properties. Here he will have an option of customizing the supply chain as he wants. He can now create the supply chain according to the number of members in it. For example, how many roles he has, what will be the names of the roles. Here we have created a sample supply chain that contains 4 roles of manufacturer, distributor, manufacturer, dealer, distributor, and the retailer. These will be the functions that will be available for each role. Then a sample, a smart contract will be automatically generated using a Python script, which can be compiled and deployed on the Matic network. So the smart contract has been deployed and is ready for use. These are the contract hashes and transaction hash. We have created a chat app using Ceramic so that the members of the supply chain can interact with each other. So here, this is a sample of how the chat will work. It's very similar and has a user-friendly interface, just like WhatsApp or any other messaging app. And it's protected by Ceramic and blockchain. So they can chat with each other and fix prices. This is the Android app, which will be used by everyone. That was the login page, which will come back later. Here the user will have to add the address, and then he can add the user of the next row. For example, the manufacturer can add a dealer, the dealer can add the distributor, and so on. So once the manufacturer has added a dealer, the dealer can log in. So owner has to add, owner can add everyone. So owner has now added the manufacturer, and the manufacturer is logged in. He will fill up his details and set up a profile with the longitude and latitude of his factory or the offices and so on. And then he will create lots of the products. He will have to give the product IDs, the lot IDs, and according to what he selected for the supply chain, the owner selected for the supply chain in the beginning. So here the lot ID is batch bin, and the product ID is as given. And now the product can be tracked. So we'll now directly show you how the product will be tracked by a customer. So the customer can scan the product barcode, And then he will get the detailed information of the path the product has gone through. For example, through the owner, manufacturer, dealer, and retailer. There will also be a link provided for the offices of the of each member of the supply chain through which the product has traveled through. So this product brings 100% transparency of the user of where the product was, and we have completely built it on and deployed it on Matic chain. Thank you. So we are open to questions right now.
Great, thank you so much for the demo. Obviously relevant in the times that we live right now to be cognizant of supply chains. Wondering at the very beginning of the demo, you showed the contracts that are essentially preloaded in that you just click deploy. Can those be modified in that screen, or does it need to stay as this? They can be.
Those contracts can be modified, and they are not pre-stored. They'll be generated according to what the user wants. For example, the product properties or the type of supply chain he has selected. For example, if the product wants to be tracked through the lot ID, the product ID, or using both. This will mainly affect the gas fees, the transaction to be saved, and that's the main reason it can be auto-generated, that we customized it. So the user or the owner, while creating the supply chain, can make it according to his or her needs of the product.
Great, thanks for clarifying.
So this looks very complete for for a project. I see that it does a lot of things, but is there something that you wish you could have added in addition? And I'm not saying that I know it has a lot of things already in it, but was there anything that you missed? If you had more time.
Yeah. One thing we were trying was to integrate the open GSN for cashless transactions, so that the whatever the fees right now, the fees in the while entering the product details, while registering a user, the fees of the gas fees are paid by the user. But in the supply chain, the owner wants to track the products, but it's more likely that the owner should pay the fees. So one thing we are trying was to integrate OpenGSN. It allows a single paymaster to pay all the fees for the transactions. So if we had more time, we would surely implement this.
I had a question in terms of, sort of maybe your vision for this. How would you see it interact with, say, payments along the supply chain? Unless I've misunderstood and you have built that in. Apologies.
Can you repeat your question, please?
Do you see the potential to work with like enabling payments along the supply chain for invoices?
Among the members of the supply chain?
Correct.
Yeah, that feature is already there. The members of the supply chain can pay each other through their wallet directly. So they will get the IDs in the chat as we have shown, so they can interact in the chat, and then from there they can pay whatever the amount that is discussed to the members. They'll get the list of all the members in the supply chain in the chat window, just like you get in WhatsApp. You get all the recent messages, you get all the members or whoever you have a number. Here the members listed will be the members of the supply chain, of that supply chain.
Cool, thank you.
So that feature has already been implemented.
And who would you say is your main audience for this application? Would it be the members in the supply chain, or is it the end consumer?
The supply chain has been made such that it can be used for both purposes. Yes, we are tracking it for the customer also from the customer's point of view to get information about where the product has traveled. But even the owner or the manufacturer can check where his product has currently reached. So this you can view from both angles. So any member in or outside the supply chain can track the product if he has the product ID and the lot ID.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Supply Chain Hub. Appreciate you being part of ETHOnline and great work.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next project, which is Decentralized Office. So Benjamin, if you are on the call, we're going to promote you shortly. And once you're on, please go ahead and play your demo. Decentralized Office. Oh, there we go. Great.
This a lot of features in the decentralized app. User can save money by contributing, and the whole large fund contributed is automatically saved in DeFi protocol, and each user will earn higher income. There is also image storage API. For developers, you can easily use the API for your image and files and store in IPFS. There are a lot of problems by which this project is highly required. So we use artificial intelligence to dictate the protocol that give higher income, and then invest the user fund automatically in that DeFi protocol, and the user will earn higher income. There is also a marketplace where user can do buying and selling of items in the app. This is how the credit union work. The users contribute fund into the contract, and the contract automatically take the fund and invest in these lending protocols, and the user will earn fund. This is based on the ESUSU as known in Africa. User can also have personal savings. By December, we'll be building the mobile and Android app. Google have already implemented and start using our API from the portal. If you check the website, you will see Google already have used our API. Project demo is in this location. Here we can see the marketplace. The user can buy and sell products. Let me see how products ship. I'm selling one. It can save your ship into the system and goes in. So the ship comes in here. Let me quickly go to the credit union. User can contribute and make withdrawal to DeFi protocol here. Can contribute in an ongoing, can decide to save as individual. Let's say you want to save 0.58, contribute, and it's being saved. Okay, so this transaction can be viewed on the blockchain. User can also decide to make withdrawal. Okay. There are a lot of features in this system. Thank you very much for watching. Office, a lot of features.
Great. Thanks, Benjamin. I'll pass it over to the judges for questions and comments.
Great, so thank you so much for the demo. I'm hoping that you can explain a little bit more the connection between the aggregated DeFi protocol and the marketplace that you showed us.
Okay, the product itself is Decentralized Office. So it gives you access. You have an office that you can do a lot of things. So users have the ability to stake fund in the DeFi protocols and earn. So it has a lot of features because we are making a decentralized office. You do a lot of things there. So you can actually sell your products in the Ethereum blockchain and also buy products that is in the Ethereum blockchain. So there is also other features like decentralized image storage, which then developers can use as content delivery network for their images and files for their softwares, which of course I show you an example of an e-commerce site in our locality here. I introduced my project to them and they saw it is useful and they already started using it right now.
That makes sense, thank you.
Did you have a chance to use Aave, Compound, or UMA yet? Were you hoping?
Yeah, I made use of Compound protocol, Aave protocol also. In like the online, the product is online. You can see the office on .link. You can stake is on testnet. So you can, when you make contributes, it stores, it's sent to the blockchain, which is Kovan testnet. The Compound protocol is already being used, and other protocols also. I implemented them. The one on the tests on the live is on Compound protocol. So if you do a test on Compound protocol, you can view it on the blockchain, Kovan blockchain testnet.
Can I ask what stack did you use to create the front end, and did you use custom smart contracts for the yield aggregation?
Yeah, I used Express.js, which is Node.js, the most popular. And I also used Bootstrap and other to create the front end. There's a Twing framework, which is a template engine. I use Twing that is a template engine for Express.js.
Cool, perfect. Thank you.
What is the next thing you'd like to do in this project?
The way you see the project, I'll still have to improve on it. Like right now, I'm working on security to make sure that everything goes well, that user will not lose funds when they use the system. So right now, I'm researching on the security of the system to see if everything is perfect. I can launch it on the main network.
Great. Okay, thank you so much, Benjamin. Really appreciate you being part of the hackathon and great work. And we're going to move on to the next project. Thanks. Okay, so the next hack we're going to see is Paireth or Paireth. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it the right way. So Holly, I think it's you on the call. Please play your demo when you're ready.
Hi, can you see?
All good.
Yes.
All right. Welcome to Paireth. First, a little bit about me. My name's Holly. I work as a blockchain developer at The Sandbox. My Twitter handle is HA Atkinson, if anyone wants to check out what I do. Paireth, anyway, is a very simple front-end dev tool, really, that I really would have benefited from a few weeks ago when I was building on top of the Uniswap v2 token factory. It's a tool that can be used to search for and create token pairs on Uniswap v2, as well as checking out the latest pairs using the existing Uniswap v2 subgraph. So a bit of a demo. It's made with Create ETH app. So it has a React front end and it's deployed to pair.eth using IPFS and ENS. So I'm going to just go to Uniswap now and grab the token contract addresses for SAMD and ETH and just drop those in here. And what we should get is the correct pair address. So 0x3dd, yeah, looks about right. So this is for when you know two token addresses for existing tokens and you want to know what the pair contract address actually is. It may or may not be showing on the Uniswap webpage, for instance. Now, with MetaMask as well, this actually works across various networks. So I'm on mainnet at the moment, but this will also work on Rinkeby, Gurley, you name it. The second feature that I want to show you is the ability to actually create a new pair contract if one doesn't exist. So let's just grab some addresses again. And I'm going to go, for this bit, I'm going to go onto a test network and just change accounts. Okay, so let's drop in some fake addresses. That one exists. This one does not exist. So for this, yes, we would actually like to create the pair contract here. And I'm going to click confirm. Fantastic. So we have now our new pair contract address on screen here. Finally, the additional feature that I would like to add is the ability to search for all matching pair contracts with just one token address. And that's something I'm working on at the moment. So watch this space. So that's it.
Hey, Holly.
Hi.
Hey, well done. I think this is really great. I really love that this came out of a problem that you had and were trying to solve. I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but what sort of was your tech that you used sort of to build out this, basically the full tech stack, really? I mean, I realize you built this on Ethereum, but the front end and so forth.
Sure. So there's some open source software that I used to create quite a dynamic front end. There's Create ETH app, which is a React front end, but it also includes an example graph. And I was able to expand on the scripts in there with JavaScript. So I added in the functionality for talking to the Uniswap contract factory. And I also added in, changed essentially the functionality in there to use the existing Uniswap v2 subgraph as opposed to build a new subgraph of my own. Yeah.
I'm curious, I know you mentioned that the search functionality would be the next thing that you would add. I'm wondering if there's anything else that you would add or any type of integrations that you would want to kind of add to your project.
I would definitely want to see how I can integrate this more with what I do for my actual job, because at the Sandbox we have a number of different tokens. So we have ERC20s, ERC721s, and we have recently launched our version of liquidity mining, and there will be various iterations on that sort of, I guess, train of thought. So for me as well, there's definitely a learning curve there in terms of learning more about the token functionality and how that can benefit from more of a DeFi angle. So that's a bit high level because I haven't got any specific integrations in mind as such in terms of specific token functionality, but that's definitely the direction I'd like to go in terms of learning, as I haven't been a dev for that long actually.
Perfect. And I guess just a quick follow-up to that is, how much time do you anticipate that this tool will now save you now that you have it?
It really depends how good someone's JavaScript skills are, I guess, in terms of writing the scripts, but probably a couple of hours. You know, I just hope someone finds it useful, really, someone out there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
And just expanding on that, do you, right now, there's a lot of Uniswap dashboards that are becoming really popular, but then maybe one doesn't have what another does. And do you think that with this, what you built, that you could continue adding, you know, maybe new features that, you know, like surface new information about this token pairs? Because now that you can read them and you can access the subgraph, you can start showing more and more information on them, right?
Absolutely, there's so much information there that could be shown, and so many ways of adding more routes to the front end. I kept it simple for this because of time constraints, but absolutely.
Cool, excellent. I don't have any more questions there. How did you find working with the subgraph? Was it easy to get into? Did you need to read about that?
I needed to do a lot of reading. It was my first time using the graph at all, and it was easy to make the HTTP requests. It was less easy to figure out how to write and integrate the GQL query, especially the one I'm working on at the moment, where you need to send params. And Create ETH app is actually using Apollo client. So there's a number of different tools there that I've had to do a lot of learning on to make sure they can work properly. And I think that the docs on making nested queries with GQL could do with a few more examples, to be honest. But generally, using the subgraph has been really straightforward.
Great.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Holly.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you being part of the event, and great job.
Cheers, everyone.
Okay. All right. So next up is coinosis. And I'm actually going to play your video for you as I understand how this is going to work. So let me do that, and then we'll jump into Q&A as normal.
Perfect. Thank you.
Follow my own instructions. I forgot the share audio button. There we go.
Coinosis works. First, I have created an event that is called Demo for ETHOnline. So I'm going to be with my colleague Juan. We're a side chain of XDAI, which is the production chain that we're using, has been super useful. So I'm just signing my transaction. I'm going to deposit 2 XDAI, well, in this case is SPOA, and Juan is going to do the same. When the event starts, that is going to be in 3 minutes, we're going to be able to join a call, and we're not going to have a class or a lesson, but it's this thinking, or we have developed this thinking on an educational environment. Oh, so here I can join the call. That money is going to be distributed among Juan and I according to the claps that each of one of us have received. Opportunity for us to show the work we had been doing with Emilio Silva too. He's part of the team. He was the main developer, or he's still the main developer. And Juan and I were more on the educational part, thinking how to use this platform as a way to improve the learning system. Hey, this is me. I'm Juan from Colombia. And yeah, in a minute you are going to see Juan that is joining from Berlin. He's also Colombian, but he has been living there for a while, and we are going to show you how to send some claps and reward people for their knowledge. They are staking some money, and if they do well, they're going to get money according to the recognition of the group. To receive some feedback from the awesome mentors that we have had through this hackathon. So just to be clear, this was a development that Emilio and I had been doing for the last 4 months, and Juan is helping us on the educational part. He has some knowledge on educational experience, so that was the team: Emilio, Juan, and another Juan. I'm Juan David, as you can see on the screen. So here we're in the step 2 of our methodology. Juan has joined to this call, and we're going to explain how the claps works. And he's also going to introduce himself.
My name is Juan, teammate from Juan David in our coinosis project, and I'm going to show you how it works, the clap rewards. So in our system, so we are both very passionate about education and academic tools, and we want to implement blockchain tools for academic purposes, and we have this way of showing appreciation for each other's contents. When we are part of the group, we can collapse here, and collapse is like a way, we see it like a way of tokenized participation.
And yeah, as you can see, I'm recording my screen. I have sent to Juan 23 claps, and he have sent me 5 claps. So let's round up this number to 25. So let's imagine that at the end, that's going to be the result. 25 claps for Juan, who has been working in the education ecosystem longer than me, so he was explaining something to me. And at the end, 5 out of 25 is something like 1/5 of the stake, that in this case is 4x DAI. So that's going to be 1/5 of the reward is going to be back to me, and 4 out of 5 of those units are going to be back. As Juan mentioned, this is a way to tokenize our knowledge. Sorry for the audio quality, but I guess you understand the concept.
Yep. Hey Juan, that was interesting. So you showed a call between 2 people, and both of them had to stake, right? You mentioned that this would most likely work for bigger groups. Can you share, like, really quick how you expect the tokenization of claps to work? Maybe with a classroom of 10 people or.
For sure. We have done this as some lessons. So for example, we have teach applied course of dApp development. So we have an instructor, and we have around 15 people joining to the call. And so they were staking some ETH. At first we were using ETH, but then we changed to XDAI just to make this viable in a financial way, because deploying a contract was super expensive. So we have had, for example, 5 lessons. And we can play with the dynamic of the price. So for example, first it was slow, like 0.2 ETH. The second class was 0.6, so you are more invested. And then we decrease that. So we can play different sort of games, but it's really interesting to see how you prepare a class, but you have different students joining, and you upgrade the level of the conversation because people have the incentive to participate. So the instructor roughly takes between 30 and 40% of the whole deposit. But then you have different voices that they can get 20, and they learn and they get more. But if you get less, that means that you learn more than you teach. So it's a cycle that reinforces themselves. So people are super excited to be back to our events.
I'm wondering, based on what you presented, if I was part of a call and I wanted to actually increase the amount that I staked for that call because I'm finding the content just so riveting, am I able to do that?
No, I mean, we just define, we store two important things on the blockchain. The minimum fee, which is like fixed, and the ending of the event. That's what we have stored on the blockchain. And then that allows you to distribute things. But also, what's something that I want to mention that we have developed too is that we are able to stream this. So we don't want to have any extra layer. So people can see the stream on our YouTube channel. That way, I mean, if you don't have the money or you're not that interested yet, you can see the stream. But if you want to be part of the clap and the chat and be part of the call, then for the next time you can do that.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
What was your biggest learning on this? Seems like great project. Yeah.
Thank you. For us, the challenge with Juan, the guy was mentioned, he was living in Berlin and he's in the education system, is to understand how we can use this on the graph. I mean, we want to open the data, and I think this is a useful way to signal your skills that are going to be tokenized and recognized by the group. So if you attend to a different events and people say, yes, Juan knows a lot about X skills, so that's a way to show to the market or to different groups your verified knowledge. I just want to mention that I like Mariano's reverse frames. I also cheer for River.
Oh, that is so good. Thank you.
Yeah, the goal of Juan Fernando. Okay, anyway.
No, I think I have like 1 minute. Can you mention really quick the stack? Oh, time is up, but go ahead. Can you mention
the stack? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We have used Solidity. We have recently switched to XDAI as a sidechain. The backend is in Node.js, the front is in React.js, and we have integrated some YouTube API to do this opening the classes. So yeah, that's the stack.
Great, perfect. Gracias.
Vamos arriba.
Thanks so much, Juan.
You're welcome.
Great project. Thanks for demoing for us today.
No, thank you for the space, and well, have a good day.
Okay. So we're now going to take our kind of midway break. So we'll take a break for about 10 minutes, give the judges a chance to refill on coffee, have a snack. And then when we come back, we will be seeing the demo from Stoploss. So see you back here in 10 minutes, folks. And then we'll finish off the last 4 projects.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we'll get started in just a minute here. There's officially 2 minutes left for the break. Once the judges are back, though, we can get started. Okay, everybody's back, so I think we can get started. Rama and Manola, I assume you're back as well. We'll just get into it. Okay, so welcome Stoploss, and I'll just turn over to you to play your demo, and we'll get going.
Hi, this is Adrian from Stoploss, and happy to present for ETHOnline. So we've seen this past year decentralized exchanges such as Uniswap starting to compete with centralized exchange. It's so exciting, and we've seen that services that were usually provided by centralized exchanges, such as lending, insurance, derivatives, are now replaced by decentralized protocols. So Stoploss is a protocol to make stop loss and take profit orders on top of AMMs, automated market makers. So that's what we built for ETHOnline. On top of Uniswap, we allow users to set a maximum amount of impermanent loss they are ready to take. So the mechanism is that you provide liquidity to a Uniswap pool and you choose a maximum amount of impermanent loss. And then there is a mechanism that makes so that there are liquidators that will liquidate your position as a LP when you need to. So we have a factory that creates stop loss pools for each Uniswap pair. And in this pool, we store the LP tokens and the stop loss or take profit orders. And there are liquidators that will liquidate NLC positions. Okay, so let's get to the demo now. We are on Kovan right now. We have access here to liquidity providing to 4 pools, DAI, USDC, USDT, and WTC pairs with ETH. So we deployed fake Ether for that and fake tokens. So here we logged in as a user that is Alice, and she already has some DAIs and fake Ether. So we can see that the pool is live. You could swap some DAI for fake Ether on Uniswap, but she won't do that in the demo. She will provide liquidity to the pool through stop loss. So here she wants to provide 200 DAI as liquidity in the Uniswap pair. We will convert that into LP for her, and she sets a guarantee of DAI. So here 180 DAI. That means that she sets a stop loss order of 180. If there are too much impermanent loss, she will be liquidated and she's guaranteed to have at least 180 DAIs. So here that's what she's doing. She's sending the DAI. The smart contract of stop loss converts that into liquidity into the pool and stores the LP tokens and also the stop loss order. So here we see that she provided 200 DAIs and she is guaranteed 180. The current value is 199. There were some Uniswap fees in the process. And we can see that there is a health ratio. Indeed, when the position will be too close to 180 DAI, she will be liquidated by liquidators. So now for the demo, we'll have somebody that is really rich in fake tokens that will make a swap that will affect the market by nearly 10%. And we will see how it affects Alice since it created some impermanent loss in DAI. So back into Alice's point of view, we see that now the current value of her position as liquidity provider is 181. It's too close to 180, and so the health ratio is under 1 and she can get liquidated. Being liquidating means that somebody can come, use the LP tokens that she has, this 5.7, sell them for DAI and send her back 180 DAI, and the liquidator will keep the rest. This is the way we incentivize liquidators. So let's see the process in action. We're going to take the point of view of a liquidator. He's using the UI for the hackathon, but really he would just create a bot connected to the Graph API of Stoploss. And so now he's doing the transaction that does everything we said. It removes the Uniswap liquidity of Alice and sell that for DAI, send her the 180 DAI that she's guaranteed, and he keeps the rest. So here's some fake Ether. So now let's get back to Alice's point of view. We can see that now she has an order that has been executed, and she got back the 180 DAI that she was guaranteed. Let's see that. Yes, she has 280 DAI. So that's it for the demo. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Nathan, for the help.
That was a really good demo. I like that you use the farming UI from Yam that we've all come to know, and created something new there. I'm wondering, is there a way? Have you thought about instead of just having liquidators, that is there a way for to add maybe an alarm clock or something, so that it is my own account that does the liquidation, for example?
So I actually started with this idea, and I've made some tests. So basically, I created the first way for me to do that was to create transaction with your account with like 0 gas price, and that would pay the miners if the conditions are met. But actually, the miners, they don't look for, like, if there's no gas, they don't look for it. They don't process the transaction and see if there's a gain for them. So we could do that, but it would need collaboration with the miners and tell them, okay, connect to this API, and these transactions are okay to be, but yeah, that's the other, but it's more complicated because it needs collaboration with the miners for the hackathon.
Right.
But yeah.
I also was really enjoyed the demo, so thank you. Just wanted to get a sense, can you walk us through your thought process of what was your inspiration for this, and if there were particular products that inspired you to come up with your demo?
Yeah, so but basically all protocols that exist today, for me, they replace what centralized exchanges were doing before. So first we have the exchange, and then now we have loans, we have stable coins, we have a lot of things that, since now we are in control of our custody, there's no party that can do stuff for us. And so that's where it comes from. I think that this is DeFi. DeFi is creating protocols to replace centralized parties. That's the kind of, yeah.
Where to from here? If you had more time, what would you do now with this?
So now I think that first going to mainnet, like really secure the contracts. For now, they are not super secure. The Oracle is a twap I haven't yet analyzed completely how it is resistant to price manipulation. And of course, like once we have this product on mainnet, like in the layer 1, the question would be where AMM will be on layer 2, and do they need that? Like this is like long-term vision, like going layer 2.
Well, I hope that you continue working on this, because I am an LP on several pools, and some of them do require a lot of manual. Yeah, you have to be on top of them all the time. So this is something that I would personally use. I think it is really impressive.
Thanks a lot. And I also hope that other protocols could use that too, because it's just more complex. But yeah, thank you very much, and happy to be connected with people that might be interested. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Hadrian. Thank you, Nathan. All right, we're going to move on to the next project, which is Pooled Loan. This is another one where I'm going to play the video. So if we can get this team onto the call, I will start the demo for them, and then we can move into Q&A as normal. Okay, here we go.
Welcome to Pool Loan project. It's a decentralized chit fund platform. The motivation behind creating this platform was to incentivize all the participants of the platform. There are two types of yields which gets generated from the platform. First yield comes from the lending pools, which is stable and Aave on whole amount of the pool. Second yield comes from the amount the loan claimer left while claiming the loan. Whosoever will claim the loan at later auction will earn more profit. The future enhancements could be to use zero knowledge proof as credit score system to support no collateral pools. We want to support multiple lending platform to incentivize the participants. We also want to make pool loan available on layer 2 solution to reduce transaction costs. Let's jump over demo. These are the available pools. The data comes from the subgraph using Marlin Cache for better and fast accessibility instead of smart contract. You will be able to participate in any loan pool by depositing collateral amount, and at every auction interval there will be an auction. The number of auction will depend on the number of total participants in the pool. So if there are 5 participants, then there will be 4 auctions, and in every auction there will be a fair chance to win the loan. If you bid highest, then you will be able to get the loan. If you bid amount 2 die, then you will get 46 die loan, and that 2 die will get stored in the pool, and at the end of the pool that 2 die will get distributed among all the participants. All the participants will also get the yield generated from lending platform, which is Aave and stable. Anyone can create pool from here, so I am creating a pool. I created a pool of stable. These data get fetched from the subgraph. There is a subgraph which we have built, so you will be able to see loan pool participants bid. This works using factory contract, and we are using Marlin Cache to fetch these data because that is faster. I can participate in this pool by depositing 30 MUSD as a collateral. The pool requires at least 2 participants, so it is saying me to wait for at least 1 more participant to join the pool. Now I am trying to participate from another wallet, but I don't have any MUSD in this wallet, so I can swap my asset using 0x protocol. So I can get MUSD by swapping another assets. As there are 2 participants now, I will be able to bid in this auction which is going on. Auction will close in 1 hour 55 minutes. So yes, I am bidding 1 MUSD. Now I placed my bid of 1 MUSD. As this requires more time, I am showing you another pool where I won the loan. So this is an Aave pool where I won a loan after bid, because I already won one bid, so I cannot take part in another bid. So pool will close in 1 minute 12 seconds, so I will show you after that. So pool already closed, so I can claim my final yield. So I already claimed my final yield. Thank you for your participation, and the total number of participants was 2, so there was only 1 auction. Here I can see how much yield I get. I get 1 yield because I already got a loan of 48 die. Thank you.
Thanks very much for the demo. Just wondering if you can summarize the economic model for the pools for us.
Yeah, so the economic model for the pool is, first of all, there are pool creators which will earn the fees from the pool. So there will be configurable by the pool creators. Then there will be a participants, like for example 10 participants, so they'll have to stake a collateral at the start of the pool, and they can bid on the loan. So anyone can bid on the loan, and the highest bidder will get the loan. So it works similar to a chit fund. So in a chit fund or a committee, there are people, and
they actually can take a loan. And but the thing here is like there is a collateral. So because we cannot trust anyone, so we have kept a collateral for now. So that collateral is equal to the amount of loan. So if anyone takes a loan and then does not pay the stake, then it is a safeguard kind of thing.
I think that's a super interesting way of kind of dealing with the issue of people, not knowing if they're going to pay it back or not. It's holding that collateral. I think it would be interesting to also think how you expand that for people who might not be able to put the collateral in. How can they still bid? And at least from my perspective, that would be something that's super interesting. But thank you very much for the demo. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So we are already thinking about that. How can anyone take a loan? Because in a traditional chit fund, people do trust each other, and there are some ways to do it in DeFi as well. We can create a zero knowledge proof for credit score or something like that, or even a whitelist. So yeah, but yeah, we didn't find enough time to implement that. But yeah, would be really nice to do. Any other questions?
You go, Mariano, if you have.
Oh, I was waiting to see if you had any, but what would you say was the most difficult part of this project? Would you say it was interfacing with the other DeFi protocols? Was it building your own contracts, the UI?
So I would say that the most difficult part was like we wanted to have platforms where we can generate yield. So we had difficulties in integrating with them. So we wanted a plug that the pool creator should be able to plug in any platform. Currently, we are supporting only two, Aave and mstable, but we wanted it to be like it out of the box supports every platform, like even Vion or even Compound. But we could not achieve that because the contract itself would be really huge and it would exceed gas limit. So we could only have these two. But yeah, some thinking on the design, and I'm sure we can integrate like any yield platform.
Yeah, for sure. I think that for a hackathon project, just integrating with two was already very impressive.
I think
Yeah, and sorry, just to complete that. So other challenge was like building it completely serverless. So it is only client code, but I would say Subgraph really helped a lot in that. So big kudos to Subgraph, really awesome platform.
Great. Okay, thank you so much, Full Known. Great project, great demo. Thanks for being part of the event.
Thanks everyone.
Okay, so we move on to the next project, Decentracraft. Kareem, are you on the call? Yes, so I understand that I'm gonna play your video and I'm gonna start kind of at the 3-minute mark. Now I'm just noting that your video is a bit longer than the 4 minutes, and so that's gonna cut into your time for Q&A. If you do want me to stop it at some point and jump into Q&A, just say so on the call, but I'll start the video at the point I was instructed to.
Thanks, Josh, for that. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello, yeah, Josh. Can we start from 2:20?
Sure, I'll do that.
Thanks.
The landowners are community members who own pieces of land in virtual worlds like Decentralized. So what landowners do, they come to this space and they start seeing different packages of resources that they can award players when they play games on their virtual land. So here we see a common resources package containing wood, containing stick, with some attributes. Here we're seeing another more advanced resources package, having rock, iron, and some collectibles like hammer and axe. And here's something more advanced that has gold, diamond, swords as a collectible. We're seeing a lot of attributes over here. So what the landowner does, he buys that, paying a certain amount. I've already done that for you, so no need to go through this right now. And I've purchased some resources packages as a landowner. So right now I do have a resource package. It's like a wholesale. It's like a store that buys a lot of items to sell it to people. So now we can find a huge supply of rocks, iron, hammers, axes, and other stuff. And we can find the ID of this resources package. Now, what the landowner does is that he puts that into code and starts awarding players with those resources when they play the game. Now, moving into the game itself. So here, we've built a demo in Decentraland itself to demonstrate how Decentracraft works.
So Josh, can we skip to 5:10, please?
So we'll build this on one of Decentraland's demos, SDK demos.
Now, if you can skip to 5:59.
And okay, so the game seems a bit lagging, but here we go. We collect stuff as a player, and then what happens? We get awarded with some resources for playing the game. And here we open the Decentracraft menu, and we find the resources that we are building. We find some basic resources like wood, gold, diamond, rock, iron, and we find some items like sticks, like hammers, that I've been awarded as a player for playing a game in the Decentraland world. So the interesting thing is those items I'm going to be finding in any game and in any virtual world that supports Decentracraft. So if I go into some other game in, let's say, CryptoVoxels or Sandbox, and I start playing, I'll get rewarded more items. And I'm going to find all the items over here. And then later on, we're going to have crafts. So we have a way to craft more advanced items using the basic resources that we have. And all those crafts and resources and items are being added into the Decentracraft world using decentralized governance process where the community chooses what type of resources and items gets added. Decentracraft enables a lot of creators and NFT developers to create a lot of valuable stuff, a lot of NFTs that are backed by real value, the value of playing the game itself, not just releasing the NFT and selling it to people, which gives it a new economical model. Decentracraft right now is being integrated with Strain, which is one of the NFT collectible projects that has launched a week ago, and right now we're building the NFT structure for Strain to benefit from Decentracraft. Thank you very much for being with me today, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thanks and have a good day.
Thanks, Kareem. Over to the judges for questions and comments.
Great, thanks, Josh.
Looks like you had a lot of fun on this project. It's
Yeah,
great.
I did.
Yeah.
Thanks.
How does it? I'm not much for gamers, so I'm curious. How does it compare with sort of other what else is out there for this kind of thing?
Yeah, so basically, I'm not sure, are you aware of Decentraland?
Yes.
Yeah, so I've been an early supporter for Decentraland, and I love the idea for Decentraland. I've seen how it developed over the past couple of years. I started, I'm a landowner myself in Decentraland, and I started participating in a lot of events that are happening in Decentraland. I think the thing that is missing right now in a lot of the virtual worlds is this attachment thing, is something to get the players come back to play the game again and again and again. I've seen my kids play Minecraft a lot. They love it. They love playing it every day. They love coming back to it. So I've started thinking and brainstorming about what the things that bring people back to a game. And I think it's this attachment to building something out of the play that you keep playing. You start building stuff and you start owning this stuff. So I've started brainstorming about how to bring that to a decentralized world. And this is where a Decentracraft came. So basically, players start playing the games, and landowners and game developers start awarding players with various resources that players can start using to craft different NFTs and more advanced so this basically gives the NFT itself more value because it is backed by the playing power of the player itself. The amount of time he puts into the game, it gets to the NFT itself, and it powers the value for the NFT, which gives it more value in the future.
Right, thank you.
I think one of the most interesting ideas that you mentioned was the fact that you could use NFTs on, different games. It's like, I would love to, something that I crafted on a game that is mine to be able, to use it as an NFT or on another. So I want you to keep exploring that, because I think that is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's the purpose right now, and that's what we're doing with one of the projects, Train. We're doing exactly that to bring more utility to the NFTs that are being created.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much, Kareem. Great demo, and thanks so much for being part of ETHOnline.
Thanks, Josh, and thanks, everyone. Nice to be with you.
Thanks. Okay. So we're moving on to our last demo of the day, and this is going to be from Trustless.Insure. So Drew and Elliot, please go ahead and share us your demo.
Insure. Currently on Ethereum, over $250 million in crypto has been stolen because of smart contract bugs and vulnerabilities. Every day, because this industry is so new and smart contracts are so new, we discover new attack vectors and new ways for hackers to steal investors' money. We have all these different attack vectors here: reentrancy, DEX price manipulation, flash loans. These have all been created. These are essentially new categories of software bugs. In the current DeFi insurance market, Nexus Mutual is the leading provider, and their insurance underwriters also decide if claims are valid. And now this is a very clear conflict of interest, because why would you say a claim is valid if you lose money, if you lose your money, if that claim is valid and you vote for that? So these agreements should be immutable, binding agreements between all parties with no wiggle room. And Nexus Mutual policyholders experienced numerous back and forths during the BZRX hack, and ultimately, they didn't have to insure that because the terms of their contract said, hey, we don't have to insure Oracle price fees, and the contract worked as intended. And 53 out of 56 of claims that have been made on Nexus Mutual have been denied. Our solution is completely trustless insurance protocol. Our smart contracts will evaluate claims without any third parties voting or any Oracle data. So this means that there is no conflict of interest because essentially a computer makes a decision and the computer is not biased. The claims are automatically paid out to users when a valid claim is made. So there's no waiting around, there's no voting, there's no waiting period. It's just, if there's a valid claim, you are paid out. There's two parties in this architecture. So there's the people who are buying insurance and they make claims, and then there's insurance underwriters. The insurance underwriters provide capital to underwrite smart contract risk, and they earn their yield on their capital for insuring users. And they have no say in whether a claim is valid or not. So the insurance underwriters, they can't vote in their own self-interest. So now let's go to a quick demonstration of the software.
Trustless.Insure, connect your Web3 wallet. And once you're in here, you can see that our insured balance of this USDC token that we deposited into yearn Vault for yield farming. We already have one token insured, and we have a total staked amount of 2 USDC. So let's insure that other token, just enter in our amount. We can also read about what our policy covers, and that it will make us 100% whole if there is a hack. So we click insure tokens, and then if we come back and refresh, you can see that we now have insured 2 of our USDC, and this is our balance. So we're going to connect our hacking account, which is a different account than the one that we use for insurance. We can see this is the yearn USDC balance currently, and we currently have 0 USDC. So we're going to hack it, and it's going to simulate a hack where we steal all the tokens from yearn USDC pool. And then once we do that, you can see our balance is updated, and if we refresh, we can see that yearn USDC balance is now 0. So now the protocol has successfully been hacked. Once the hack has occurred with our main wallet that we use to insure our tokens, we come in here, we can see yearn has been hacked because the balance is 0 now, but we do have this insured token, and this is our USDC balance. So we come in here and we decide file a claim. We learn the terms of the claim. If it's shown that there was no hack, then there'll be a penalty for attempted insurance fraud. But here, it's been hacked, so we're going to file a claim. We go through, and once we do that, we'll be paid out in whole. And we can see our balance is now 200 updated.
Hey, Drew, interesting project. So in this case, for example, I would interact with the yearn Vault via some proxy that that Trustless.Insure provides, right? And so that would take care of, for example, the yield that I would earn, or a better question, what does a protocol have to do, if anything, to integrate with this? Or is it just on the user side that they would interact with, like middleware provided from you?
Yes, so from the user side, they just call a smart contract and go through essentially the claims process. And during that claims process, for each different market that we'll insure, we'll have essentially adapters and connectors to figure out how much, based off of, like, let's say you have 10 YUSDC, let's just say. Then we'll say, okay, there's a certain ratio that we'll get by calling the yearn contract. And so we'll say, okay, based off of this ratio, we should receive this amount of USDC back.
And have you given any thought to what a dispute process might look like if someone doesn't agree with how a claim is paid out?
So because this insurance is pretty much like binary, there is no process like that. So when you buy it, you just understand that, hey, it's just gonna, like, we're only insuring, like, if that USDC gets stolen, or if a protocol that's somewhere in this stack of DeFi gets hacked and you can't get all your money back out. Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. What's sort of your vision for this? Sort of, how are you looking to evolve this?
Yeah, so I think that in terms of like a long-term vision, I want this to be a protocol where essentially an LP can provide any kind of token that they want for people to be insured against. And then, so essentially kind of create a marketplace for insurance. So you can spin up a marketplace and say, I want this insurance to be settled in CUSDC, and I want to insure YUSDT. So there can be different, so LP providers, like liquidity providers, can essentially provide a productive asset to the pool, so they can essentially double dip on yield, earn yield and compound, and then also earn yield on the premiums that they're generating. But then also another user essentially is making a bet that compound is safe, but that, you know, if Y blows up, they can still get paid out.
So yeah, it's like the contract, the insurance contract's a little bit like a derivative. The insurance contract is all codified, and so people are understanding exactly which primitives there, or which DeFi protocols are being insured against, and then people can make a two-way market on that. Am I interpreting that correctly?
Yeah, exactly. So you'll be able to kind of mix and match, and you'll be able to insure different protocols with different assets.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Trustless.Insure. And that concludes our last demo for the day. Thanks for being part of the event. Great job. Okay. Thank you, everyone that presented today. Thank you to our judges for taking time on your weekend to do this. We really appreciate it, and we know the hackers do too. That is it for this session, and look forward to seeing you all in the Discord. Judges, if you have any questions about any of this, I think you're already in touch with Kartik. You can also message us in the Discord if you're unsure about entering scores or anything like that. So thank you so much. And thank you to our wonderful volunteers, Rama and Manola, who've been working behind the scenes to make this run very smoothly.
Thank you, everybody, as always. Have a great Sunday.
Cheers. Thanks, everyone.